Welcome to Hardly. Each book is distilled into 3 stories, giving you the key ideas in minutes. Today we listen to Michael Castleman's book, The Untold Story of Books, a writer's history of book publishing in which we probe into the unpredictable journey of authors in the publishing industry, the constant battle between innovation and tradition in bookmaking, the shifting balance of power between publishers and authors over time. Michael Castleman is a journalist and novelist, author of more than 2,000 newspaper, magazine, and web articles, 14 consumer health books, and 4 mystery novels. Don't go away. Hardly the editor will be right back with the story. There are 3 unforgettable stories in this book that illustrate the unpredictable dynamics between authors and publishers, the tension between innovation and tradition in the bookmaking process, and the shifting balance of power. Let's dive into these stories and see what they reveal about the ever-changing landscape of publishing. The first story takes us back to the 15th century, to the man who started it all, Johannes Gutenberg. Gutenberg's vision was to make books accessible to the masses, and his invention of the printing press was supposed to be the key to achieving this dream. Yet, as the story goes, it was not long before he lost control of his creation. After taking on significant debt to fund his printing endeavors, he found himself unable to repay his financier, Johann First. First, seeing the potential of the press, took everything from Gutenberg through a court ruling, leaving him bankrupt and without rights to his own invention. Imagine the bitter irony. The man who democratized knowledge was shut out of the revolution he sparked. As Gutenberg's biographer noted, Gutenberg lost his presses, but his invention lived on without him, opening a new world of books. This story offers a profound lesson. In the pursuit of groundbreaking innovation, losing control of one's creation is a very real risk. For modern creators, whether writers or entrepreneurs, it's crucial to maintain ownership of intellectual property and carefully navigate financial partnerships. If not, someone else might end up reaping the rewards of your labor, just as Gutenberg witnessed the printing revolution flourish while he faded into obscurity. As you think about future projects, consider how you might safeguard your work while still pushing boundaries. From Gutenberg, the story shifts to another era of innovation, centuries later in 19th century America, where Samuel Richardson's novel, Pamela, ignited an entirely new genre of literature. Richardson's work was not just any novel, it was the birth of the romance genre, particularly captivating female readers. What's fascinating is how quickly Pamela became the victim of rampant piracy, especially in the American colonies. Richardson had no control over how his book was copied and sold across the Atlantic. The demand for cheap books overshadowed any legal protections Richardson might have expected. Colonial printers copied his work without permission and, in turn, fueled a frenzy of unauthorized sales. One could even argue that these illicit copies helped solidify the novel's popularity, as women went wild for Pamela, the naive but clever country girl who wins over her employer's heart. This story points to the ongoing struggle authors face in protecting their work from unauthorized reproduction. In today's digital age, piracy is more rampant than ever, and creators must learn to navigate this challenge. Authors can mitigate the risk of unauthorized distribution by using various technological solutions, such as digital rights management, DRM, and smart contract systems on blockchain to ensure proper attribution and compensation. However, it's also essential to understand that some forms of piracy might inadvertently amplify a creator's visibility, as happened with Richardson's Pamela. The key is balancing protection with the opportunity for wider reach. As Pamela shows us the power of pirated distribution, the next story takes us into the murky waters of publishing in the modern digital world. This story centers around an author who could be any one of today's many aspiring writers, navigating the tough reality of contemporary book publishing. The industry has evolved into what the book refers to as the third book business, where authors increasingly self-publish, often without the backing of a traditional publisher. Take, for instance, a woman who spent years pouring her heart into a novel only to receive a no-advance contract from a publisher. She was left to promote and distribute her work largely on her own. In the United States alone, there are 7,400 new releases every day, the book states, meaning her book was one of thousands drowning in the sea of new titles. The frustration of modern authors is palpable. While technology makes it easier than ever to publish, it also means that standing out in a saturated market is more difficult than ever. Without the traditional marketing machinery behind them, authors often struggle to find readers. Yet, the third book business also represents a new era of empowerment for writers. With self-publishing platforms and direct access to readers through social media, today's writers can take full control of their careers. But success in this landscape requires authors to embrace their dual role as both creator and marketer. They must be proactive in promoting their work, using every tool available to create visibility and engagement with their audience. Each of these stories, from Gutenberg's rise and fall to Richardson's piracy-driven popularity to the modern self-publishing struggle, demonstrates the delicate balance between innovation and control in the world of books. These stories also highlight a crucial shift. The power in publishing has oscillated, sometimes lying with authors, other times with publishers, and most recently with the readers themselves as they navigate the explosion of self-published content. One of the recurring themes that emerges is how technological advances drive change, often catching authors and publishers off guard. Just as Gutenberg revolutionized the book industry by making printing more accessible, today's digital platforms are transforming who gets to publish, how they do it, and how they reach their audience. But this empowerment often comes with its own set of challenges, as traditional support systems like robust marketing and editing from established publishers may not be as readily available for self-published authors. The balance between innovation and tradition is as crucial as ever. Writers today must embrace technology, but not lose sight of the fundamentals of storytelling and the importance of professional support where possible. For aspiring authors, it's essential to strike this balance, learning to adapt to the demands of self-promotion without compromising the integrity of their craft. As the editor of Hardly, through learning these stories, we see the future of publishing as a space where creative individuals must navigate ownership, technology, and visibility carefully. But there is also an opportunity for authors to redefine what it means to be successful in a world where they can take control of their own destiny. Each story comes from the most representative real-life cases selected by the Hardly team from this book. Beyond these three, there are 15 more captivating stories waiting to be discovered. If you wish to dive deeper, we recommend purchasing the full book. In the world of publishing, the balance of power and control has always shifted, with authors, publishers, and technology each taking center stage at different moments in history. One striking story that encapsulates this struggle comes from the early 20th century when best-selling author Upton Sinclair, fresh off the success of The Jungle, attempted to maintain creative control over his subsequent work. After his experience with publishers who often pushed for commercial compromises, Sinclair decided to self-publish his next novel, Oil. He financed the project himself, refusing to yield to traditional publishing pressures. Sinclair's determination to keep his artistic integrity intact came at a significant financial cost, and while he maintained control, the distribution of the book was far more limited than his earlier successes. The book still became widely known, but Sinclair's struggle illustrated the painful trade-offs between maintaining control and achieving widespread reach. This story brings us back to the key points of the book: the unpredictable journey of authors who must decide between creative control and financial success, the tension between tradition and innovation that has shaped the book industry for centuries, and the continuous struggle for power between authors and the entities that control the means of distribution. As the publishing world continues to evolve, the lessons of Gutenberg, Richardson, Sinclair, and countless modern authors offer crucial insights for today's writers navigating the industry. Each of these challenges reminds us that while the landscape changes, the core issues of ownership, visibility, and balance remain as relevant as ever.